Oh my God.
Oh, a lot of
dear.
sound there.
Oh dear. Right.
Okay.
We
Hello.
just messed up the first minute already.
Hello. Hello. We're
we've
live.
just-
We came here to talk to you about
Where'd you
parenting
Get, you get that?
and stuff.
You got that accent from? Where did you get that accent from?
I don't know. It just came to
You
me.
sound like Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider. Yeah.
That's who I am. That's because I have
What?
this braid.
Braid.
The braid makes me sound like Angelina Jolie.
Jolly. I
Jolly.
never thought about that before.
She's very jolly.
It never occurred to me that her name was Jolly.
There you go. She's very jolly.
Angie Jolly.
I should try
The Jolly Angel.
I should try to see if the sound works on this, right?
I can hear.
it does.
I can hear it from here.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Right,
it
can you-
does. Good.
Can you put your computer away?
Yes,
Please,
I can.
because
I'm going to
it disturbs me. Like every single thing that I'm
Close
not
it.
in control of on the planet.
I'm going to close it and put it there.
It disturbs me.
Okay. So, hi.
Hello. Oh, Laurel's on already.
Hi,
Look at
Laurel.
that. Look at that.
It's
Wow.
nice to see your name again.
We haven't seen her
How
for a
are
few-
things going in America? How's the weather?
She was preparing for the storms.
Yeah. Did you how did the storm go?
Did you weather the storm? That's a bad joke, isn't it?
It is.
It is. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very easy to be all jokey about it
when
here
you're far
here in the
away.
middle of Europe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where we don't have those kinds of problems here.
We do have really weird neighbors sometimes though. Right?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure if you can compare neighbors to the weather, but
Probably not.
Probably not.
But you can't control them either. So, they've got something in common.
Well, there's a certain level of control, right? It's well known that
I'm going to take this off because it
systems-
hurts my ears.
the HARP systems have some control over the atmosphere of the planet.
Yes.
There's even a mobile HARP system that they put on it. Yeah, it looks like I know.
Looks like a big mobile phone.
No, it looks like a giant floating golf ball. Actually,
No, it doesn't.
It does, right?
Are you trying
I'm
to
not
tell
gonna-
me there's a giant golf ball flying in the sky controlling the weather?
Do you want me to go to Google right now and type in mobile HARP system
No.
and click Google Images?
No, because that would be really boring, you doing that.
you-
And nobody else could see it.
you will see
You can show me
A
after.
giant
Okay?
golf ball. When I say giant golf ball, I mean it's
can-
bigger than this. This is a pretty big block of flats that we live
Yes.
in, right? It's about 10 times as big as this block of flats, right?
I don't want to see what the golf clubs look like.
He's broken the rules.
Oh, dear. Somebody's lost.
Will was bribed with half a hierarchy, for which he promised not to speak during the podcast, and
And he accidentally forgot.
and now he's talking.
What's
even
up, darling?
more, so that's twice. Will,
We don't have any
darling.
more. We've eaten it all.
darling, we've eaten everything.
It's all gone.
all gone. All gone. Bye
It's
bye.
all in there in your tummy.
You've eaten it all.
Where's your tummy?
You've eaten all the hierarchy, darling.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
That's not your tummy, darling. That's your that's
Holding
your
a
butt.
different part. Hi Susanna, I wonder if you're watching with the sound on, because apparently 80% of people watch Facebook videos with the sound off because they're just
They do.
scrolling through their feed. And
Yes,
stop for
they
a
do.
second.
I never put
So-
my sound on. It just,
What's the point of the
unless exactly, unless it's a live video
copy and paste?
that I can
Call
see,
and repeat.
that people are talking about something interesting. Yes, of course, darling, anytime. Sure. Yeah. Will,
she
can
do
you
that
help
by
her?
herself? Can she get it by herself?
Well,
Does
Will,
she-
darling,
she needs-
William,
William, hello.
Earth to Will.
Hello.
Can you help Jasmine? Can you
Please.
give her technology, please?
No, because you were talking. You have to wait 15 to 20 minutes, okay?
Yes.
Yes, but you have to wait 15 to 20. And you have to help your sister, which you're not doing. So,
There you go.
and wait for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mummy, can I have my tablet too? Oh.
Is that Scotia speaking?
Oh.
Darling, why don't you go and have a banana?
She looks more like a Scotia than a Zora.
There are some bananas on the table.
Why is
Okay.
the plant moving?
Because it's alive. Ooh. There's a mystery for you to solve, guys.
There you go. Well, get on the case. I mean, no, well, I don't mean actually get on the case, but I mean, look.
Right.
Got
Do you
it.
think we can get from tablets and giant golf balls to the point?
To the point of parenting.
Yes.
We are parenting. This is real-time parenting.
Yes.
What? I want to ask you about your T-shirt.
It's in there. Is it?
Where-
Are you going to call?
Will, your sister is telling you that it's over there, and can you go and have a look, please? Okay. Just wait. They wait until we start.
Yes, exactly.
They
They're like, sit down really comfortably, not do anything, and then as soon as we start, they come up with all these
We
requests.
thought we got it
right?
organised where they'd all be doing
You found
something
it?
while we're trying to do a podcast.
Well,
and
did you
a
find
Facebook
it?
Live and a YouTube Live.
Okay.
Remember that if you've got any questions about parenting, if you want to know what's going on in the background, if you
If you want your kids to be more engaged with you,
If
just
you've got any
start
advice
a live
that-
stream.
yeah, if you want to cause chaos,
Yeah.
try to do a live stream with your kids around.
So, what do we have to
Just
talk
beginning.
about today? What interesting topics do you have prepared?
Oh, first of all, me.
Yes, darling?
Me. All right, this is the. I didn't prepare anything because I knew you would prepare everything.
Are we going to,
Scenario.
talk about that again?
No.
Good.
How was the change of name? How did you cope with that today? But you got
Me?
your cable down the front there, which is okay if you're wearing something dark. This is a video thing for people who are watching the live streams on video.
The change
is that
of...
C or, I want to ask you about your t-shirt. Is that C or a G?
It's a C.
Why don't you have a G?
Because there were not enough flowers.
Wait, this is the. I've noticed a pattern that you seem to be wearing lots of things with flowers on it the last couple of days. Because you had that
that's-
other thing with flowers on it that you said was flowers, and I
Yes.
thought it looked like stains.
Yes. I got that one from your mum. Got this one from a friend. Thanks, Monica. And
Got that from a friend.
yeah, got this one from Monica. I like it because
Why
it's
did
got
she give you a t-shirt?
it's got a letter C on it, and
Girls give each other weird things.
it stands for crate.
Crate. Crate of beer, perhaps.
Well, it should have been a G.
Crate of onions.
It should have been a G as a grate, but they didn't have enough flowers.
Oh, okay. What? That's the third time. Okay.
Oh
So
dear.
I'm gonna count. I'm gonna count how many times.
Oh, he
He
just
can't
wants
keep
he
his-
just wants to get involved in the conversation. You can't blame him for that.
I don't know. Is it true? Will, do you want to get involved in the conversation when we do the podcast?
Oh, and now he's not going to
No,
react.
no. He only wants to get involved when
He wants to.
when. I would like to be like that. What does that mean? Hi, Mariana. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi.
What are your kids
Long
doing?
time no see.
Yes, come and visit us. We want to interview you about how to parent properly.
Yes, that's a good idea.
I thought that would be a great idea. to
That would be a
interview
great
her.
idea.
She always
Yes.
has good things to say.
Yes. Come
But-
over. Sit on our sofa here in the corner.
And we can talk about it.
We'll make space for you. That's what Jasmine says.
I make space for you.
Jasmine always says, I'll make space for you.
Make space for you, mommy.
Yeah,
Make space for your daddy.
that would be
Okay.
good.
That would be good. Except there would be no peace.
And carrots.
Quiet. I could just go away. I could just leave you two girls like talking, doing it. That would be good, right?
I would.
It would.
Yeah.
You'd
I'm not sure if I'd be
rabbiting away.
so good at, leading the conversation. You're really good at leading the conversation. You always have stuff prepared. I'd probably just be winging it.
That's okay. Many people have survived on a wing and a prayer. It's not very organized, but. There's
Good.
ice cream. Okay.
Ooh. Ice cream, yeah, sure. Just have to
that's
find it, yeah?
That's her favorite activity.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just need to find it for her because
Okay.
she wants
So,
the
what
ice
have I got prepared for today?
Here, sweetie. Love.
You need to sit. Why don't you sit over there on the orange cushion that we gave you, darling? There we go.
So
there's
cute.
the orange cushion.
How did the change of name go today? Well, it didn't really. I remember about 3 times today to call her the new name. To call Zora Scotia, because just to tell people who don't know about it.
It's gone off again. It's gone off.
Bring it over here then.
It's turned itself off.
It's there. You just have to swipe it.
She doesn't know how to do that, darling.
Look.
You're going to have to help
Come
her
on
with that. Right. Today.
Which one? This one?
Could you answer the question, please? I say. Hello.
Oh, I see. What question?
The question is...
What question am I answering?
Okay.
How did the change of name go?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't go very well because I couldn't remember to call her the right name. You don't want this one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then give it to Zora and she will find something for you,
the
okay?
kids worked really well this evening.
Give it to Zora, she'll help you with it. There you go.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I called her Scotia about 3 times. Yeah, this is something that our daughter came up with, right? Her name is Zora Scotia, and and we called her Zora up till now, but she decided she doesn't like Zora because it's a boy's name, right?
Which it's not.
Which it's
Where'd you
not,
get that
but
from?
I have no idea. But she decided that she doesn't like Zora. She likes Scotia. So we agreed that we're going to call her the name that she likes. And I'm not doing a very good job because I keep forgetting that.
Time. It takes time.
Rome
wasn't built in a day,
Yeah.
Right. I noticed that the kids all get up in their own time in the morning.
Yes, they do.
And I was
And
wondering,
Scotia gets up the last.
what time does she get up?
Around maybe 11. Between 10 and 11 today.
No, just in time for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had some breakfast. She basically had muesli for lunch today. Everybody had muesli for lunch today because I was so busy.
What did I have for lunch?
You had nothing. You probably had a piece of toast or something.
I had toast with honey.
Well, there you
Because
go.
I was...
I had nothing.
It's because you didn't make anything.
I had nothing because I was doing things in the computer. I was preparing something.
Yeah. Not sure we can talk about that, though, can we? We can't.
Yeah, I think yes. Why not?
We talk about it. Congratulations. Well done. You achieved the impossible today. It took you 5 hours, but you persevered and
Yes.
you worked through the problems
Yes.
and you didn't lose it.
Almost. I almost lost it.
It takes a lot for you to lose it. It takes about half a second for me to lose
I
it.
almost lost it. I honestly felt like I'm going to cry.
Does anyone... I think everyone's had that experience.
That helplessness, right? When you look at the screen and you just feel completely helpless, like, what do I do now?
Well,
right?
no set of instructions on the internet actually work.
Yeah, exactly.
None. I have never come across a set of instructions that actually work. Or I've never come across somebody else's screen that looks like my screen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I watched about
this is
10
my screen.
tutorials and all the tutorials said the same thing. Do it this way. And I did exactly that and it didn't work. Every single time it just didn't work.
Yes, that's because we can't put the sound up because we're recording a podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, and it would destroy the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Maybe you go closer to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea to go closer to it.
The other side of the room. Maybe if you go closer to it, and I will
Yeah.
take the magic machine.
And put it a teeny tiny little bit louder.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, okay. Yes, you can, darling, because Zora just went down, so she's not in the way anymore. So
we can't put the cameras in the corner. Of the
we are
room, so-
preparing a special little something for you people, but it's a big secret for now. Is it?
No.
It's not. It's not a big secret. Okay.
What, the amazing parenting seminar?
Yes, we are
Oops, did I say it? Oh, no.
preparing the
I let
amazing,
the cat out of the
amazing parenting seminar for everybody out there
In a couple of weeks,
in a couple of weeks.
it will be launched online, and there will be a chance for everyone to get together and share what they know and grow. Oh, that's kind of nice, isn't it? Share what you know and grow. There you go.
Yes,
Nice.
it's nice. We are planning to actually make sense, and to actually speak to the point as well for a couple of hours.
What's that weird noise?
We will give you more information on that later.
Is he actually eating a piece of Lego?
So, can you focus?
I'm focused.
You're
I'm
not.
focused on that noise. He's munching away on a piece of Lego over there. It's a bit worried.
Focus.
Focus.
Anyway, so we'll give you more information on that later. But know that something's cooking and it's going to be cool. What? What?
Something's cooking.
Something's cooking. I've been cooking it for 5 freaking hours today.
Hey. Bringing it to the boil, eh?
Oh, absolutely. And I did not flip, even though I felt like I would.
Well, you got stuff done. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it takes. You got to get stuff
Partially.
done. Right. Anyway, the kid's getting up, right?
Yeah.
Can you not hear
Will,
eating Lego?
could you stop eating whatever you're eating, please?
Lego. He's
Thank
got a piece of
you.
Lego in
Because
his
your
mouth.
dad
He's-
can't focus. He's got this thing where everything disturbs him. So if you could just not move and not make any sound, that
If you
would
could
be
not
that
munch
would
on
be
the piece of
great.
Lego, that would be extremely comforting to me.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting up. They're all getting up in their own time. Jasmine usually gets up first.
Okay. Is it better to let them get up in their own time? Or
Well, I don't see why I should wake them up, right?
Okay, this is the fourth time he's done that now.
I have absolutely no reason
Well, that's the
to
fourth time you've disturbed us.
wake them up
Okay.
because.
I can't focus because he's the fourth time he's.
Well, can you go
He's-
to your room, please?
Something's going on in
Thank
the
you.
background there. Okay, 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes. Come back in 15 minutes and you can have your tablet, okay?
Meanwhile, you can read that super cool book that you were reading last night and you couldn't stop because it was so good. Yeah.
Will, can you do me a favor? Can you do this? With your hand. Can you do this? Can you do this?
Stop it. Can you focus? We were talking about something.
What the-
I can't talk. I can't talk to you about anything today. You're just not focused.
Well, I've been like him then, haven't I? I can't do things because he's not focused, and you can't do things because I'm not focused. It's a chain reaction. Anyway, there was a specific reason why I did what I did. Because he just got stung,
Yes.
right? And before we started the podcast, he was hopping and bopping and jumping around, screaming his head off because somehow a wasp got into the room and stung him.
1 second. Zora, can you take Jasmine and put her tablet on the charger in your room, please?
Yeah, I think that.
Can you please help Jasmine with that?
Mhm.
That's not very helpful, sweetie.
Oh, look at this. Peaceful parenting in action. Can you go with her, please? Because
Jasmine,
if not,
Jazzy, go to the room and tell William to stick the tablet on the charger for you, okay? he can help you because it needs to go on the charger. It's going to turn off.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your room. The charger's there next to Zora's bed. Okay. Tell Will to help you.
Zora's really not being helpful at all there.
No, she's not.
I don't like that. I don't want to do that.
Of course you don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
There's nothing you can do with it right now, so we can address that later.
There was something I wanted to talk about just before that happened, and I started to introduce the topic, and I can't remember what it was.
That Will got stung and he was hopping around.
Yeah. And he was screaming, and it was like his screaming was not going to end. And the reason why I got him to do those things was I wanted him to move the finger and touch the finger and do stuff with his hands to see if it still hurt or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that it doesn't hurt at all.
No, I know.
Okay.
Well, if it still hurt, he would tell you that it still hurts.
Well, exactly. I was getting him to move it. I was like, I expected him to do something, and he would go like, "Oh," and you know, I'd go like, "Okay."
Well, I told you that 10 minutes. Give it 10 minutes. Takes 10 minutes for the sting to stop hurting.
Did you pull something out of his finger?
Yes, I think there was a stinger. There was something dark, but I wasn't sure if I can see it properly or whatever.
Because it was definitely a wasp. Because you know the wasps fly around the balcony, right?
Uh-huh.
It was definitely a wasp. I've never seen a bee on the balcony.
Okay.
I've only seen wasps. Right?
Well, maybe it was a wasp. Maybe
I saw it crawl along the edge.
Maybe what I took of his finger was just a piece of something, whatever, a fluff or whatever, It could have been. Could have been.
Okay. And according to WebMD, oh no, I can't do that because my computer will not show me the WebMD website. Wasp stings, ways to treat wasp stings. So we discovered like a few useful. Why is the stand that the camera is on is bouncing up and down? What's that about?
Because you had your hand resting against that thing there.
Can't touch anything around here. It's
No.
ridiculous. Right. So garlic apparently is really good for wasp stings. Garlic is pretty cool.
So they say.
The juices should be applied to the sting. Onion apparently is good for general insects stings as well. Cut an onion in half and place it on the sting. Cucumber. Cucumber's good for lots of stuff, isn't it? It's good for your skin as well. No? Isn't it? It's supposed to be.
Yep. So I heard.
People put it on their eyes, don't they? I've seen like weird face mask things with people putting cucumbers on their eyes.
Yeah, they do. Apparently, they're good for your eye bags. Your eye baggage.
What's that?
Well, when you're tired and you got bags in the eyes, you've got swollen eyes.
Have you noticed that some people's eyes just have these permanently heavy bags underneath?
Yes, I've noticed. One of my eye had one the other day. One of my eyes had a wee bag underneath.
Yeah, that's a wee bag that comes and goes, right?
Yeah, just because I didn't sleep properly. I had a lack of sleep and it showed.
Yeah, but it's just some people look like they haven't slept ever, right? They're just walking around with the sort of dark eyes and the heavy bags.
I think that's got something to do with some internal organs imbalances or something. That when you've got dark circles around your eyes, they say that it may have to do something with the liver or whatnot.
That's a very general statement. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got garlic, onion, and cucumber.
I use vinegar for stings.
For both bees and wasps. Somebody once told me that vinegar is only good for one of those.
Bees vinegar is good for bees, but wasp stings are not really. I don't find them a problem because they go. Because you get wasp sting, and in 10 minutes you don't know that you've been stung, even after even if you don't apply anything on it.
I got stung by a wasp, and it hurt for like 3 days.
Was that wasp? Where was it?
London.
Yeah?
When I lived in London.
Well, maybe it was infected or something.
An infected wasp.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
What was it infected with?
I don't know. Maybe it's climbing on, maybe it's crawling on something yucky.
I don't know. London's got weird insects
Exactly.
because it's London.
You sure it wasn't a yellow jacket or the big
It wasn't wearing any jacket as far as I can remember.
No.
No.
You sure it wasn't a Sršeń? The big
Hornet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Aren't hornets like really scary? Like you'd be
Yes.
like, you'd be like, oh my
Yes.
God!
I've seen one once, and it was like on the other side of the window. I was on the inside, and it was on the outside, and it was massive. It was like, it was about this big.
The camera
Right.
showing to the camera. You
Like
can't see
that
on the podcast,
big.
but never mind. Big. That's about 2 inches.
Like
right?
that big. So huge.
What's that beetle they've got? What's that beetle they've got in Slovakia with the wings and it makes noises like a helicopter?
Chrust. I can't remember. I don't know what do you call it in English.
I don't, it doesn't exist in Britain. They don't have those kinds of things. But that's pretty scary. It's like being attacked by something out of Star Wars.
Yeah, but this hornet was massive, and it was trying to get in through the window pane, and I was thinking, oh my God, it's going to take out a teeny weeny little pickaxe, and it's going to break through the window, and it's going to fly inside, and I'm going to poop myself. Right.
I don't know what would be scarier, the fact that the hornet had a pickaxe or.
If I were outside then and actually met it like eye to eye, I would probably like freak.
Yeah.
Like really bad. Okay. Because it was as big as a freaking mouse. It was horrible.
Big as a mouse.
Yeah. It was very big.
It's pretty big.
It was very big.
Aren't bees not supposed to be able to fly?
Bees?
Yeah. Aren't bees? Isn't there something about bees like
that they're too fat?
They defy the laws of physics or something.
I've heard that.
Small wings and big bodies. They're not actually physically supposed to be able to fly.
I've heard that. But I think it's rubbish because obviously, if they fly, then they have to be physically possible to fly, able. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense, does it?
This is one of those kind of urban myths then.
Yes. I mean, you can't say that something's not physically possible and then for it to actually happen. Right?
Well, you can't say that it shouldn't be. I mean, there's a million things in the world that shouldn't exist, but they do. Right? Elton John albums, for example. Right? They shouldn't exist. Okay.
Oh, dear.
What else? Museums that nobody visits. They shouldn't exist. Right?
Okay, this is a bit pointless.
Souvenir shops.
How about we
shouldn't exist.
But we start talking about something,
Okay.
Something logical.
Something logical. Okay. Well, I wanted to segue into, should the kids all get up at the same time, or should we just leave it?
No.
No.
Why should they all get up at the same time? We don't get up at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're individuals, right? I mean, if you want to run a communist household, then you can get them all up at the same time. But they're different ages and they have different needs, so whatever.
Okay, that's fair enough. Right. What's next? I don't know. Articles. What's been happening? What's been happening around the net? Yes. Okay. Jeffrey Tucker. I know you don't know who that is, but that's not
who is that?
Important. Jeffrey Tucker. He's a so-called I can't say it. Libertarian. How do you?
Libertarian?
How do you even say that?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like one of those alternative political groups that believe that in small government and rules without rulers and
okay. Kind of an anarchist.
Yeah, kind of anarchist. A lot of them believe in the peaceful parenting principles as well. He wrote an article. He has a foundation called the Foundation for Economic Education, and he wrote an article entitled "Let the Kids Work," and it's all around the premise or principle: should children be allowed to have jobs the same way that that adults have jobs? Because there are lots of labor laws in various countries that basically ban children from work, and there's an argument that this keeps them away from commerce and limits their understanding of how the world functions, and it means they can't get fully involved, and there are great things to be learned from having jobs and having work.
Yeah, I think the point of that law is to stop parents exploiting children, or to stop adults exploiting children and making them work instead of letting them do what kids should do, like study and learn.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
on one
but
hand,
that was 100 years ago, though, right?
I understand. On one hand, you could argue that there is no better way to learn than through actually doing something, right? Like that. But I think that if parents want their children to have a real life work experience, they can find ways to do that.
Give me an example then, if they can find ways, off the top of your head.
Well, you have a lot of child entrepreneurs that that set up businesses under their parents' names, but run them themselves. In homeschooling families, there's a lot of child entrepreneurs that do that. I mean, I've read stories and stories about kids, I don't know, selling bags or making clothes or doing things like that. So officially it would be registered under their parents, but they would be in charge of it.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I think that if kids want that experience, then obviously they can't be employed by anybody, right? But I think if parents know what they're doing, they can enable children to have this experience.
Okay. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah?
I need you to check the YouTube live stream.
Okay, on my computer.
Yeah, I need you to open up your computer over there.
All right.
And
find the link on your Facebook?
Yeah, because there's a weird technical thing going on in the background over
All
there,
right.
which means that the sound might not be coming through correctly. So just bear with us on the Facebook.
All right, and I will find it.
One of the problems with live streaming is when you're in front of the camera, is that you can't check all of the things that are going on.
Is it here?
I want you to click that link that I put on my Facebook page.
Yes.
And I want you to check that the audio is coming through okay. There might be an issue with the audio. It might be feeding back and echoing back on itself. So we're not getting any response from the chat about it not going out correctly. So it might be going out fine. It's just that there might be a weird echo and it's coming back.
There's something. I can hear something in there.
You have to keep talking. You know that.
La 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 la. I'm talking. Okay. So yes, I think that work experiences for children are a very good idea.
Okay, shut it down.
Right.
Turn
Okay.
It appears to be going okay. Right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for checking that thing.
No problem.
Because as you can see from the technical stuff that we've got going on, because you can't see it if you're behind the camera, but if you're in front of the camera,
Obviously.
there's a million boxes with a million things going on.
Yes.
And that box over there, which is saying, which is highlighted as mute, could be a problem. Anyway, that's just a little technical thing going on. I think isn't Will banned from jumping around over there?
He's asking whether the time is already up for his tablet.
Yeah, it's Jazzy's tablet on the charger in your room. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, your
You can get yours.
Yeah, for sure. Go help yourself, mate.
Okay.
Right. So back to the work thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that little break. There's just the two of us, right?
Just the two of us.
And it would be nice to see the podcast data is now turned off, so I got to check that that's still running.
Yes,
Okay,
it's still
so
running.
I'm trying to have a conversation and run 3 streams at the same time.
So what did this guy say about the work? He says that kids should be able to go back to work, right?
Yeah, he says that there shouldn't be any child labor laws or restrictions, basically. And that children should be allowed to do whatever they want to do because it's interesting. They can learn from it. They get to see the real world. It's exciting for them, and you shouldn't build up barriers between what they will have to do and just limit them from understanding what work is, what it means to work, what the results are of work.
If children want to do that, that's great. But yeah, I think the whole point was to stop parents from forcing children to go to work.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of social policies.
Yes.
There's a whole positive negative argument there. We'll avoid the positive negative argument, but a lot of social policies focus on pleasing certain groups of society, but very few focus on pleasing children because children don't really have much say in what happens in the world. And so you can't vote until they're 18. So the politicians should be like, okay, we'll do something for the parents, but why should we worry about the kids because they don't affect the political spectrum, right? So allowing kids more real experiences would maybe create new opportunities, would maybe create new markets, would maybe allow, for example, some elements of technology to develop faster. It might allow some children to focus on things that please them more. It might reorientate how schools approach the idea of education. It would maybe remove some of the fillers that exist within education, just to fill up time and
I don't know. It does sound like an interesting idea, but I would have to think really hard about it. Because you have to take into account the fact that a child is not there's a big difference between the age groups, for example. I mean, I can imagine this working for, say, 14, 15-year-olds or maybe even 13-year-olds, but how about 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds? I mean, would there be no restrictions at all, or would there be some kind of age restriction? Children also you have to take into account the fact that children are not fully mature and are therefore more prone to be victims of exploitation, for example. Not from not being forced to go to work by their parents, but maybe by employers. Okay, maybe the employers could. Kids can't stand up for themselves, right? The employers could take advantage of that because an adult knows they're right, but a child could be bullied.
Well, it's probably up to the parents to incentivize the child's understanding of what it means to work and the value that they can create.
Yeah, it's not entirely bad idea, but I don't think that the age restriction that's in place now is in any way an excuse for a child not experiencing actual work if they have parents that are willing to put a little bit of effort into enabling that for their child.
Okay. Moving on. HappinessIsHereblog.com had an article entitled "Comfort is Always Okay." The premise of the article is that you should always comfort your child, no matter what the situation, no matter what the problem. There's a tendency for some parents to, when the child is crying, to give the child space or to leave the child by themselves, like alone in their room or something like that.
Or even better to say, well, what did you expect, right? Or it's your fault, or you should have listened to me, and so on, right?
Yeah,
I think we all, I mean, well, maybe we don't all do it, but I definitely do it sometimes when I specifically say something and they specifically do the opposite, and then, you know, SHIT happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
So the first thing that comes to my mind is saying, "I told you so," right? Why did you do that? I told you not to do it. Because it's annoyance, right? For me, it's annoyance. I mean, now they're crying, they've hurt themselves. Now it's going to be a delay, and you're like, why do I have to deal with this when I told them not to do it? So your first reaction is to say, what did you expect, right? You should have listened. But it's not a good reaction. I know it's not a good reaction.
So the article's suggesting that there should always be that element of human contact and comfort there.
Yes, definitely.
It says that there seems to be a perception that comfort should only be offered as some kind of reward, and that parents are often urged to withdraw affection from children when the child doesn't please the adult, and that in both the short term and the long term is pretty negative and sort of builds a wall rather than connects.
Yes, absolutely. Because why should you want to make a child more miserable than they already are, right?
So that's a great question.
I mean,
that's a great question. It's like that quote that I put on Facebook yesterday, right? Which is
I know which one. Yeah.
It's when a child acts up and does the wrong thing that they need not to be punished, but then to be understood.
Yes.
It's that the very point at which they need understanding is very often the point that they don't get any understanding at all.
Yes. It's when they're the least lovable. It's when they need the most love, right?
Yeah, and the parents are often scared to, as they see it, give in and think that
they
might
worry
be
that yes, exactly. They worry that they might be reinforcing the bad behavior, but there's nothing wrong with showing understanding and empathy.
At the right time, in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah, there are times when different situations require different emotional responses.
I think showing empathy is quite a general thing that works in all situations. You know, I mean, I don't know. There may be situations. I don't know what kind of situations do you have in mind when you say sometimes in some place. Do you have in mind some situations where it would not be good?
Let's say a situation of danger, right? Let's say your child's not paying attention and they I don't start to walk across a road or something, right? I mean, you might want to, you just run and grab them and pull them to the side so they don't get hit by another car. Okay, so I know that's an extreme example, but the different situations require different approaches.
Yes, but when you do that, you're not making them miserable in any way. You're
saving
keeping them safe, right?
Yeah.
You can still show empathy. You can still, take them aside, put them down, and say, "I'm sorry, I had to grab you, but you would have gotten hurt, and I know that you feel very happy and excited, and you just want to run, but this is what I need to do to keep you safe."
Well, the
right?
parent essentially is a guide for the child. And one of the essential roles is to guide the child through the emotional states, not to leave the child to suffer in them. Yes, there is something we can learn from suffering. Yes, there is something we can learn from pain, but only when there's no other way, only when we have no other choice, I think.
Yes.
So I think it's worth making the extra effort to connect with the child when the child is can I describe this, like going through an emotionally vulnerable situation. You need to support the child in that and know that it's okay to to experience and feel emotions, because the next time they might just lock everything inside.
Exactly. I was actually dealing with that today. I was providing a kind of one-to-one support to one mom today, who came to me specifically with a question about her 1-year-old. You know, she had a problem with her 1-year-old daughter. It was her first child. And she was concerned because she said her 1-year-old daughter has strong anger issues, right? She said basically every time that she doesn't let her have something, like she takes the mobile phone away or whatever, that her child is going to throw a massive tantrum, right? Like throw herself on the ground and scream and yell and just be extremely angry. And she was worried, you know. She said that she can't. She finds it really hard to deal with it as a mother, because she has feelings that she's doing something wrong and that her child should not have such strong anger reactions, you know. And she was asking me, well, what can I do, right? How can I stop it? So I kind of explained to her that at that age of 1-year-old is when children become individuals. They start to realize that they have their own space, that they have their own effect on reality, and that they have their own will, which is not always the same as the will of the mother, right? And that obviously is connected with strong feelings of frustration if they can't act on their will, right?
Okay.
If they can't have everything that they want, which is perfectly understandable, because everybody feels frustration if they can't do something they want to do, right? It's natural.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, and 1-year-old children have absolutely no way of expressing that other than, you know, getting angry, screaming, shouting, yelling, crying, throwing themselves on the ground, because they don't know how to speak, they don't know how to control their emotions, and they have to express them. It's natural. So I was trying to kind of, you know, reassure her that she's not doing anything wrong, that it's a natural emotion and it's a natural way of expressing the emotion, and it's perfectly, you know, appropriate for that age. And good point is that we shouldn't try to suppress that in children. You shouldn't try to hush it, you know, when it happens immediately, because you don't want to communicate the message to the child that it's wrong to express your emotions, or it's wrong to feel this, right? It's wrong to feel the anger, because if you start suppressing the emotion, you take away the control, or the possibility of control over the emotion in the future, because the child can't have any control yet. She's 1-year-old, right? But in the future, she will learn techniques. You can teach her techniques of how to express the anger in a less damaging way.
Yeah, and then
and they'll be able to recognize the emotion and to express it properly, or to channel it into something else, right? Rather than suppress it, feel guilty about it, or feel like this is not something I should be feeling. Okay, that's the point.
And once again, the parent has to model the control.
Yes.
For the child to understand.
Yes, absolutely. The parent has to stay calm.
Why do I say the parent? The parents, it should be, shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Should be saying the parents.
Well, the parent that's dealing with the situation at hand, right?
Yeah. Well, both parents
so
should be trying
yeah.
to do that all the time.
I mean, the pressure is high, right? If you're in a doctor's office and there's 10 parents looking at you, probably thinking that you must be mad, or that you must be doing something wrong, or that your child is mad, or whatever. Which parents usually don't think, but you think that they're thinking it because you're in the situation and you're panicking and you're like, oh my God, my child is screaming, and everybody can hear it and everybody can see it. And you just have to filter it out, stay calm, and just, you know, focus on what's happening.
Yeah, that's not going to, if you lose your cool, it's not going to help.
You have to realize that if somebody doesn't understand child's development stages and doesn't know that what the child does is natural, there's nothing you can do for them. And there's absolutely no reason why they should influence you or, you know, your emotions, because they're out of it. They don't know what's going on. I mean, they can judge whatever they want to judge if they don't have the facts. You know, it's their problem, not yours.
Well said. Well said. Okay.
There you go.
Staying in control. I think that was one of the key points there. Connected with staying in control, moving on, I have a few points of everyday psychology, little things that make big differences. There's a big world going on, a lot of people doing a lot of different things, a lot of crazy stuff, and it can be hard for parents to focus sometimes when they need to focus. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about things that are happening around about us that often distract us when we need to focus. And so awareness. I want parents to be aware of what is going on around about them and why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. Let's go through some examples.
Okay, give me an example, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, that was far too abstract. Right?
Yes.
Abstract and kind of wishy-washy and right.
Charlie Brown. My back hurts today.
Your back hurts?
Yeah, I've done some yoga, but it didn't really help. I think I need to.
That's probably what hurt it. Right.
It was the work. The work broke my back.
In my work with my clients, one of the biggest problems is focus.
Yes. It's everybody's biggest problem nowadays.
There's so much going on around about that they can't focus on the important things they need to focus on to make the progress they need to make. And this is as true on big projects as it is on little things that happen during the day.
Yeah.
So, 3 things that distract your attention happening all the time around about you. 3 things that distract your attention are
William.
Children, and children.
You've just lost your cable.
Yeah, that's because you pulled them off.
Did I?
Yes, you just pulled on that cable, and you just pulled all the cables off the table there. Yeah.
The cable table.
Yeah. Okay. So this is probably all feeding back and making horrible noises. All right. Please don't pull the cable.
Okay.
Right. Okay. 3 things: food, danger, and sex. What does that mean? Well, we're distracted by all of these emotional impulses, and in order to stay focused, we need to know that we are constantly going to be distracted by those things and not let the distractions distract us. Be aware that there are always elements of danger in our environment, that we're always going to feel a little bit hungry during the day, maybe want to have a piece of cake or a piece of chocolate or something like that. It's always
a piece of whatever, like all the time.
Yeah, we're going to be distracted by all of those things, and in order to make progress, we need to realize that we need to put them in the back of our mind so that we can keep going in the right direction. Right. Another thing that distracts people on a daily basis is just because you haven't done something, it doesn't mean you can't. New experiences can be very difficult.
Yes.
For people.
Yes.
And there's no reason to be afraid of something that you haven't done, because haven't does not mean that you can't do it.
Yes.
So you've got to have this positive mental attitude in your approach to your daily.
But it is scary. I mean, fear of new things, new experiences can completely freeze you in the moment, and you know.
It can, but your past doesn't have to be your future. Everybody has the chance to make a choice.
Absolutely.
Past doesn't have to be your future.
It's you just need to. Sometimes you need to make a conscious effort, right? You have to be mindful of what you're happening in your mind. Like, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm not progressing because I am subconsciously scared of doing something new. You know, sometimes you just have to realize that, say it to yourself, and push yourself through it.
Okay, so don't let the distractions get in your way. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. The next thing is that what we see or the vision that we have is affected by what we expect to happen. So you've got to keep a positive frame on everything that's happening around about you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think it does.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so we're influenced by the context of everything that happens, and we need to filter the information that's happening around about us. We need to not let our expectations too much influence the reality of the situation.
I'm not sure what you mean here at all.
Okay.
It's too abstract for me.
It's too abstract. Our expectations influence how we feel in the present. For example, if you are sure that the film is going to be great, you'll probably enjoy the film, right? Which is you're letting perhaps unrealistic expectations influence your present
Your
state.
view of reality.
Yeah, your view of
Okay.
reality. Yeah.
It's the shoot.
Oh, back to shoot again.
It's the shoot again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the shoot that comes from absolutely nowhere. You create it basically. You pull it out of a thin air, and then you're extremely frustrated if it doesn't become reality.
Oh, look.
You want some fizzy water in your cups?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, darling. I'm gonna have to go and pour some fizzy water. Okay.
I'm gonna run through a few more.
Go through them, but don't be too abstract.
Abstract's usually synonymous with being not completely prepared, in my opinion. Okay, in my experience as well. So there we go. While all the fizzy water chaos happens in the background there, and Jazzy wants fizzy water in her little plastic cups that she likes, which she usually ends up drinking half of it and then pouring. What's going on in the kitchen over there? You've got a plate. Something happened.
Oh my god.
Somebody has been using ketchup with
painting with ketchup.
Oh god.
They painted a little toy car.
They painted the car.
They painted a car with
They took ketchup and a paintbrush and painted.
This is my bread. This is your bread, Jazzy.
Oh my god. It's never normal anymore. You can never go back. You can only go forward. Right. Yes. So Jazzy's been very creative. It was obviously could be worse. Could be much worse. So that's well, she did it on the plate. She mixed the ketchup on the plate and got the paintbrush and painted the car. So I mean, that's cool. All of the cars. She painted all the cars. Okay. Okay, great. Then she'll just have to wash all of them as well, won't she? So so moving on. It's everyday psychology, things you need to think about if you want to stay focused. So all of us have inbuilt mechanisms to imitate and empathize with people around about us. I think psychologists call this mirror neuron activity. This allows us to see the world through other people's eyes a little bit. It also makes interaction a little bit more comfortable. So you'll be aware of mirroring that's happening in your headphones are over there somewhere. Right. Be aware of mirroring that's happening in your conversations. Mirroring often makes people feel more comfortable. You'll see people do it in job interviews. You'll see people do it if they're sitting in cafes opposite somebody else. It's just you're right there.
In the way.
You're in the way of you.
My head hair is in the way.
Your head hair is in the way. Okay. Right. So yeah, be aware of mirroring that's happening in the conversation, and you can use that to your advantage to help people feel more comfortable in certain situations. It's okay. You're leaning on me.
I'm mirroring you.
You're mirroring me. Like a fish.
Yep.
Okay. It's normal for the mind to wander at some points during the day, so nobody can stay completely focused all the time. So
Yes.
I understand that it's normal to the brain will drift, especially when you're maybe a little bit tired.
My brain's a great drifter. It can drift
Where-
really far.
Where does it drift to? Some distant land?
I have conversations with myself.
With yourself?
Yes.
With your drifting brain?
It's always very enriching.
How do you have a conversation with yourself?
It's always nice to
How-
talk with somebody intelligent. Ha 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 ha. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Right. You're not talking about me. Then, okay. How do you have a conversation with yourself? How does that work? Do you want to explain that to me?
I'm not sure. I just, when I have time with myself, like when I go to the shop, for example, right, and I don't have to focus on chasing children around, I just go and talk to myself about
You have
things.
to focus on chasing children around.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I go to the shop with 3 kids, I mean, you know, you always have to keep your eyes up front on Jasmine
There's a
and
person called Shu Fang Wang.
and at the back
Credits roll
on Scott, yeah, and you just have to, you know, be focused like on everything at the same time. But when I go to the shop by myself, for example,
Darling, is the plate finished? You finished with is the plate? Is the food finished? Are you finished with the plate? That's what I want to say. Can you take it back to the kitchen rather than leaving it on the chair over there
thank you. So
where it belongs?
yeah, it's
Get your hand.
I just when I try to solve problems, I talk to myself. It's a good way of solving problems.
Do you get anywhere talking to yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I turn on the video on my phone and actually start talking out loud when I've got some good ideas and I need to dump them, right? Sometimes I get some good ideas while talking to myself, and then I just press record on my phone. And I just
Are there like 2 voices or 1 voice? Kind of talking to yourself. I'm curious.
there's one voice. I usually talk to myself, and the other me usually listens. Does that make any sense? Does that make it? Am I the only one doing this?
The other me?
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one doing this, right?
Pretty sure.
It's kind of it's like a creative process of coming up with ideas. You're giving yourself a lecture, basically. You explain things to yourself.
I've never tried that before, you know? I've never tried that at all.
No?
Talking to myself. I would start to think that I'm going crazy if I did that.
No, it's a creative process. It helps me. Because once I talk to myself about, well, obviously I don't do it out loud usually. I just do it in my head. But
hi, darling. What's the story?
oh, she wants more.
Have you finished? You finished it? I think you're going to have to go.
Yes, probably. Anyway, once I get to a point where it starts to be interesting, I just start talking out loud and press a record button.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's kind of interesting.
And then you don't have to write things down because you walk into the shop, right? Just people look at you like you're an idiot because you're talking out loud into your phone. But maybe they just think that I'm talking to somebody else.
Actually talking into your phone.
I usually finish before I walk into the shop, but I do it in the street.
How do the kids react when you're talking into your phone on the street?
Well, I just said that I don't do it when I'm with the kids. I usually do it when I'm alone.
Do you
because
get
when
much
I'm with
chance to do that? You spend a lot of time with the kids, though. So
yes,
you get much.
but ever since you started working from home, I get
You get more time. You get
more time.
opportunity.
I have more opportunities to go to the shop by myself.
Mhm.
So I do that. Or sometimes I just, when the kids are, when I do it here.
I think you're gonna have to go.
Yes, I know.
take
When
care
the
of
when
it,
the
though.
kids are here and I
Think
have
you'd
a
to take care of the girl
conversation.
before she grabs the cables there and pulls everything down.
No,
She-
sweetie, you can sit at the table in the kitchen.
Okay, right.
Okay.
While Yanka is solving that problem over there, I'll go through. You do that. I'll go through a few more. Daily reminders about how to stay focused. So, the last thing we talked about was it's normal for your mind to wander. Another thing to think about is that when we create a list of things to do, we usually start at the top and do what's first. Whatever the things that you put at the bottom of the list very often don't get done. So expect that to happen. Expect to do what's first on your list, and maybe not to get further beyond that. I know when I make a list, I usually get 3/4 of the way down the list because it's usually a pretty long list. But I definitely don't get everything done. People value what's right in front of them. There's something about having presence, which is very important in our everyday situations. So it's really important to be aware of the things that are happening right in front of you, around about you, the conversations that are happening. We tend to value more that which is closer to us naturally. What else? We're often motivated by the idea of progress as well. If we feel that we're getting somewhere, if we feel that something is working, then we're more prepared to put energy into it. So try to see the small things as big things. I know that that's kind of contradictory, but try to see the small things as big things. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So you want to put all the small parts, small elements together to bring about a greater change or a greater success. Welcome back to the conversation.
Hi.
Here's your mic again.
Thank you.
Right. We're skipping on. We're moving on. Because I've exhausted that subject, and I want to look at one more thing before we finish our conversation today.
Okay.
Any topics that are on your mind?
On my mind.
On your mind?
I found that the article that I shared with you today that you didn't like because it was very political and
I didn't like
not
it.
not in a good way.
I didn't like it because it was untruthful and manipulative. It was specifically designed to
I know, I understand that.
to cause a certain reaction in the reader.
Yes, and I understand that, and I agree with that completely. But I still found the topic interesting, and I have read a different article on the same topic a few days ago as well.
Okay.
And I thought it was worth a mention, and the topic was gaslighting with children, right?
Okay.
In parenting. And for those who don't know what gaslighting is, it's basically a technique that is used by psychopaths, right? To manipulate their victim, right?
Okay.
They basically what they do is they undermine your view of reality, or they make you think that you're insane.
Well, they
Right.
put you in a situation where you can't trust anyone or hold on to anything.
Where you
Yet
can't trust yourself.
Okay.
Right?
Wikipedia. Gaslighting is a form of manipulation that seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or members of a group, hoping to make those targets question their own memory,
Exactly.
perception, and sanity.
Yes. So it's used by psychopathic manipulators to undermine, obviously what you just said.
Undermine everything.
Everything. The belief in your own in your own mental capabilities.
It's a control mechanism. It's a way of getting other people to basically to do what you want them to do.
Yes. If you believe that you cannot trust your own perceptions of reality, if you believe that you may be losing it, then you are more likely to believe the manipulator and to believe that they are right or that their view of reality is correct. Right? So you'll basically think, oh, wait a minute, I'm really I really don't remember very often what I've really done, so perhaps they are right and I am wrong, even though it may be the opposite, right? If the manipulator says, you never remember anything, and this is how it was, for example.
Okay,
right?
well, yes, a classic example of that is when someone says that, well, everybody's got their own truth, right? Everybody's truth is different.
Well, no,
but that's gaslighting.
That's not gaslighting. Gaslighting is saying,
yes, it is.
This is the truth.
Somebody is banging on something through there. Somebody's banging a door again and again
Yes,
and
I
again
can hear
in
that.
another part of the flat.
You can hear that. That is what you just said is no gaslighting, because when you say that,
Thank you very much for
then you are
the banana peel, darling.
when you say that everybody has their own reality, then you are actually saying to the other person that they have their own perception of reality, and it's perfectly valid. But what the manipulator does in the gaslighting is
another piece.
Unvalidating the other person's perception of reality. They're saying that their perception of reality is wrong. Invalidating, sorry. They basically said that their perception of reality is wrong.
Zora is screaming your name, darling.
Is she?
Yes.
I can't hear it because I'm talking.
Yeah. Yes, she keeps screaming for you. I don't know what the problem is in the other part of the flat, but you have to go and check it. Ain't nothing going on but the rent, as they say. What's that got to do with anything? Just random statements. Songs from the 80s, trapped in my mind. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is the use of persistent denial, misdirection, contradiction, and lying, and it attempts to destabilize and delegitimize people's beliefs. Okay. The term originates in the systematic psychological manipulation of a victim by the main character in the 1938 stage play entitled Gaslight, also known as Angel Street. Film adaptations were released in 1940 and 1944. 1944 film starred Ingrid Bergman. Famous movie, Gaslight, 1944. Ingrid Bergman.
Okay, so
Ingrid Bergman, let's go make a movie on the island of Stromboli. Ingrid Bergman, sorry.
That sounds great. Okay, so in parenting, gaslighting is often used by parents without the parents actually knowing what they're doing, right? But they
without
obviously
the parents knowing what they're doing. If you're manipulating, you generally have some level of awareness of what you're doing.
You sometimes don't know that you're manipulating. You sometimes don't know that what you do is wrong. It's an automatic reaction. For example, give me a situation, okay, which is gaslighting, and you might not even know it, and you might even be doing it yourself, right? Say child hurts themselves, or child is upset about something in general and cries, and you go to the child and you say it's okay. That's gaslighting. Because when you think about it, you are invalidating the child's feelings. You're telling them there's nothing wrong. You know, they're crying. There's obviously something wrong. And you are telling them there is nothing wrong. Therefore, they have to think,
You're invalidating their emotional experience.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're basically sending the message to them that your perception of reality, that something is wrong, is invalid.
Okay.
Everything is fine. So stop having this emotional reaction to it because it's invalid, right? And this is just one example. Parents, I know there was a bang. Zora closed the door of the cupboard, of the sliding cupboard.
Again, like for the fourth time.
Yes, yes. And this happens quite often. For example, a child cries over something that you find is not worth crying over, and you would tell them you're overreacting, right? Or, for example...
wow, so gaslighting could be just saying to someone, I think you're overreacting.
Yes, that can actually be gaslighting. Because what you're causing is that the child is not going to trust in their own emotional reactions, right? The child's going to think, next time that something happens, the child's going to doubt themselves. They're going to be, am I just overreacting? Or is this really, an appropriate reaction to this problem? Same thing... for example, if you call your child ungrateful, right? If a child is upset about something and you say, you have no right to be upset about this, you have a great...
Hi, darling. Okay.
Again.
Wow. We're going to...
Can you give us 5 minutes?
We're going to finish in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us 5 minutes and then we can do food. Okay. There is more bread on the table. There's more eggy bread on the table.
I want some more.
Your child is upset about something like, oh, I can't have my tablet, right? And you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's so entitled. And you will tell him, when I was your age, I didn't have anything, and you're being ungrateful. You don't even know how lucky you are. You're invalidating their feelings again, right? So instead of doing that, you should, express empathy. Say, okay, I understand that you're upset. Okay. It's okay to be upset about it, but we can't do it because of these reasons, right? So you validate the emotion and you basically tell them that it's okay to feel that way. Another example of gaslighting, your kid says, I don't want to wear this jacket because I'm not cold. And you tell them you have to wear it because you are cold. You just don't know about it, right? Okay, we can paint with that in exactly 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay,
get ready for it.
Okay, so, well, let's, I think grab the banana, darling.
Or when a child doesn't want to eat anymore, because they say, I'm full, and you tell them, oh, but you've only had 4 spoonfuls. You can't be full, right? Yeah. Eat some more. Again, you're invalidating their perception of reality.
Yeah.
So it's something to be...
Don't you think that's an overreaction?
Aware of. No. I don't.
I was trying to gaslight you there.
Because what you're doing there is basically lowering their self-confidence in the future.
So gaslighting can be the source of
low self-confidence,
low self-esteem. Yeah.
Yes.
In the future. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Because if they can't trust whether they're hungry or not, right? If they can't trust themselves to say whether they're warm or not, then how can they trust themselves with anything, right?
That's a great point.
You're telling them that your reality is the only correct reality, and that is just wrong.
Jazzy, what's the problem? What's the situation?
What's up?
Oh no, we're going to paint. We're gonna finish up here, and then we're all gonna paint together. Is that
3 minutes? 3 minutes. We can even paint with ketchup. Why not? It's great finger paint.
Yeah, but you don't want to mix ketchup and paint because they'll end up eating the paint, right?
Well, obviously not.
Anyway, have you ever? I was wondering about the term gaslight because
it's from that movie, isn't it?
Yes, but you know why?
No.
Okay, the husband is doing something that he shouldn't do in part of the house, and he has to use the lights in that part of the house. So turning on the lights in that part of the house makes the gas lights in the other parts of the house dimmer. And the wife is wondering, what is the husband doing? And she's saying, you must be doing something because the lights are getting dimmer. And he's like saying, no, it's just...
No, they're not.
They're not.
Oh my God, okay.
And slowly she goes crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't know whether what she sees is actually what she sees.
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing to do.
That's crazy. It says also here, gaslighting may be experienced by victims of school bullying, for example. When, both the bullies and other people in the environment say it's not that serious.
Yes.
When it could actually be much more serious.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gaslighting is often observed in cases of marital infidelity as well.
Yeah, nothing's happening. You're just imagining things.
Yes.
Yeah.
The abuser's ultimate goal is to make their victim second guess their every choice and question their own sanity.
Yeah.
Making them eventually dependent on the abuser.
On the abuser, yeah.
And so on. There's a great Wikipedia page about that if people are looking for more information.
And if you think about it, it must be a good thing. If you think about it, in parenting, it actually is manipulating the children into being more coercive with the parents' choices. Right, because
Jazzy started to paint with the paints on the
carpet. Okay, because last sentence. Because if you as a parent,
she started to squeeze the paint onto the rug.
No, she didn't.
She's taken the top off the paint, and she's about, I can see it from here.
Oh, she can't because they're closed. She would have to pierce the tops.
Oh, they're new ones. They're new paints.
Yeah, they're new. They are new paints. Yeah.
That hasn't been opened yet. Okay.
The ultimate goal, basically, when you do that as a parent, right? When you tell the kid it's not serious, you're just making it serious.
You're gonna have to go because she's gonna. Freak mystique.
Is to eventually stop your child from doing what they're doing. Is to eventually make them believe you rather than themselves. Because you don't want them to insist on not wearing the sweater, right? You want them to believe you and to put their bloody jacket on, even though they're feeling hot.
Yeah.
Right. So it's basically the same thing in parenting.
I'm having trouble focusing on what you're saying because I'm pretty sure that she's going to end up with paint all over the carpet.
No, she's not. Okay.
I think she's more
advanced
than we give her credit for.
Okay, well, let's say bye-bye.
Okay.
Let's finish this.
Okay,
it was
an
interesting conversation. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much too. I think it picked up in the second half.
Yes.
I have to go back and listen to it again and see what we covered.
You could just cut off the first 15 minutes.
No, because it all builds up, you know.
Okay.
It all builds up. You can't expect people to be listening all the time.
Okay. Well, I hope that people will get something from this conversation.
Yep, we're ready to rock and roll with the paints.
We are ready to rock and roll with the paints. We're going to create some amazing art.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want to keep in touch with us, it's nsa-slovakia.com. It's the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube and Facebook.
Yay!
You can also find information about what we do on Pinterest. I have a LinkedIn page as well.
Yes.
And am I anywhere else on the net? Probably. Probably all over the place.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, pick up the daily free mail. Go over to my Facebook page, and there's a daily free mail email with motivational ideas, concepts. There's a focus this week on the history of literature. So if you're interested in literature and literacy, then check out the mails, and maybe you'll learn something that you didn't know. It's all about growth. Basically, it's all about growth. So, any final comments?
No final comments. Just we will be happy to see you again next time we do this, tomorrow probably, right?
Tomorrow, probably. I think we're going to do, because this is podcast 20 now, so we're going to do a little bit of a review about what we've done. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work, and we're going to see how we can take things forward, take the next step, and provide.
And I have to go now because some things are happening over there. So bye. It was lovely to see you, and we'll see you later.
On Facebook. Say
bye, Facebook people over there. Nice to see you.
Okay, we're going to
bye, YouTube people over there.
On YouTube.
Thank you for watching.
There. How do I stop that? I stop that right here. You take
care,
guys, on YouTube.
There you
Speak
go.
to you soon.
And
that's
are we off? And bye people on podcast.
You better run. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Crazy stuff. Catch you later, guys.